Welcome to the Get Out There and Get Known podcast. Join Pam Perry, veteran PR strategist, Emmy award-winning producer and publisher of Speakers Magazine, who will show you how to crack the code in getting out there to get known. Each week, she either interviews her media friends, PR colleagues, or she just goes solo, offering you strategies on publicity, publishing, and platform building. So listen up to hear how to get booked on media places and on superstar stages. Now, here's your host, Pam Perry.
Hey there, this is Dr. Pam Perry, and I am here with Dr. Veronica Brooks, who is in the issue of Speakers Magazine for September. Yes, she is. If you can kind of see that, there is the magazine. And then we also have her in the magazine here. So let me just kind of remove her out for a second. And I'm going to read her bio because I don't like people to kind of like, while I'm reading the bio, that they kind of are sitting there and they're feeling very like, oh my God, is she talking about me? So I'm going to read her bio. But one of the first things I'm going to do is I'm going to switch something, and I've never done this in the middle of my show, changing the branding. Yeah, it is about getting out there, getting known, but we're gonna fix something right here. And there we go. How about that? So Dr. Veronica Brooks is igniting purpose and building wealth. She was born in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Dr. Veronica M. Brooks' journey from the heartland to international acclaim has been both remarkable and impactful. Her academic pursuits, culminating in a doctorate in humanities and social science, laid the foundation for a distinguished career within the Department of Defense, where her roles range from the Naval Air Facility in Japan, she'll tell you a little bit about that, to ensuring essential CENTCOM requirements. So she'll talk about that. But Dr. Veronica's true passion lies in empowering others. An international speaker, best-selling author, and renowned Les Brown Platinum speaker. That's why she's on Speakers Magazine show. She has a unique gift for connecting with audiences, helping them identify their purpose and igniting their spirits. With titles like 90 Days to Start Gaining Wealth and Wealthy Life Skills, Dr. Veronica equips readers with the tools to harness their potential and carve a path to financial prosperity. She's a founder of the Wealth Palace magazine, with accolades from the Wall Street Journal to People You Know magazine. Dr. Veronica's message is clear. With purpose and passion, wealth and fulfillment are within reach. So with that, I'm going to bring up Dr. Veronica.
Hello. How are you?
How are you?
I am doing good.
Good.
On with you.
Good. It's one of the things that you also have a book. And so out of all the accolades and the things like that, but you have a book, a memoir called The Warrior Within. Yes. So tell us really about that, because you're really talking about power and purpose and wealth building. And we had a chat before, and we were talking about why you really got into the lane of wealth building and how that's kind of like in alignment with everything that you do. So let's tell us backstory a little bit about why you work in that space of wealth building.
Well, one of the things was all the trials and the tribulations that we all go through. But one of the things was when I actually had to learn more about wealth, getting into arguments with the husband and things like that. So I had to find out more about it. You know, even though I was raised up I was on the wealth side, you still have to learn the in-depths of it. So that's why I start learning all about the wealth so I can build up. I had to pick a choice, build up or either tear my husband down. So I'd rather build him up. So then this is how the memoir of The Warrior Within came. All of this, going through these different trials and all these errors, you know, the things that hit us hard. You have to make those choices. You have to make the decisions. You have to get the focus of really where you want to be in life. And I enjoy the wealth building. Now, the one thing you said, you asked me to just a little bit about the warrior within. So this is my memoir, which I thought people should know about me, even that though I had wrote on the books talking about wealth and creating the wealth using your own skills and abilities. But I thought people should even know about me. And this was a big release for me. It was the hardest book that I ever had to write because I had to let everything out. You know, you can't hold in all the cracks and the crevices. You got to let everything out. And this book talks about the struggles that I went through at a young age, and it deals with rape, and it deals with being raped by a pastor in the church, which people don't like talking about. And then it goes on telling all the different things that how people set up a child to be raped, and grown people on top of that. But after I got through all those things like that, I had to get a therapist, and I had to go through therapy because the struggle was real. And I still to this day, you know, things that I see that I get, it may be the hands, it may be the smell. I may see certain type of hands that look similar. They are triggers, but I know how to handle them. And I'm just grateful that I'm here to this part and have been through the healing part, speaking with you, Dr. Pam Perry, because you're totally awesome. You're amazing.
Thank you.
You just broke down everything for me in a matter of seconds. And I was like, oh my God, this woman is phenomenal.
Well, one of the things,
you know, because I really listen. Okay, you tell me to do this, I'm going to, trust me, I'm going to do it.
So, Dr. Veronica, one of the things that we talked about, the things that you went through, most people would be suicidal or homicidal, like one of the two. But you held it in for a long time, and you had purpose, and you knew you had purpose, and you used that purpose to really create what wealth. And you saw that you had a gift of really taking the pain that you were in, turning that into purpose, and really just helping other people find their purpose amidst pain. I mean, it's something bad enough to be sexually assaulted, raped, but then to actually do that in the church. And like you said, you're a young person and you think adults should know better. But what I'm finding, you know, this month is domestic awareness month. I think next month is domestic awareness month. This month is suicide prevention month. I think May is mental health awareness month. So when you say that you got therapy, that is really, really the main thing a lot of people need. And I was just telling someone the other day, a lot of scars from childhood, if they're not healed, it can be ripped off at any point, and you're bleeding on other people all the time, and that's messy. So I appreciate that you did the memoir. It's a brave step. You could have kept doing your other books that had to do about wealth building, which is the fun part, which is the part and helping other people. So let's talk about your 90 days. Your 90 days book that you have, it called 90 Days to Start Gaining Wealth. So can people really start gaining wealth in 90 days? It's a good title. So how do they actually do that?
They actually can. You can start. You know, in order to change something, you have to get started somewhere. So you definitely can get started gaining the wealth. It's just getting the focus right, and also getting the right mentors. Because I have a mentor for everything for, you know, whether I'm motivational, Les Brown, whether it's wealth, you know, I have the different ones. Like when I was in the federal government, Department of Defense, I had a mentor all the way through that part. So mentors and coaches are very, very, very important. When you can start 90 days right now, this day, if you just take the steps, what I have done in 90 days to start gaining wealth, very simple steps, and they're very modern steps that everybody, we know these steps, but do we really take action and do them? And
So tell us.
I
So
tried
give,
these steps. I'm sorry, go ahead.
so give me some examples.
So one of the examples, I had got like about 7 different jars, and then I start accumulating money. I started collecting because I had read so many books. I had got so many mentors in the area. So I started accumulating the amount of money. And you have to be pretty disciplined. If you're focused, you can do it. You really can do it. So as I did that, waiting as it built up and being very disciplined with spending, I actually got the money that I had built up and then invested to double the money.
Wow.
And
So let me stop you right there.
Mhm.
Why 7 jars, and what did each jar represent?
Well, I just picked 7 jars. I just picked, like, if I want to go out to dinner, or if I want to go to like the movies, or and then I put my bills there, and then I put
So every jar has a category. So a jar for bills, a jar for charity, maybe a jar for entertainment, a jar for basic utilities or utensils, things like that. So you had these jars, and then within the jars, you broke that up. It's kind of like budgeting, but I guess because maybe people who are visual can see it. So it's better to see it, because some people are like, well, I can put it in a notebook, but because you had the jar, that was how you actually saw where the money was going. Because I think if we see it, we can understand it better. So really part of the money is the psychology, money is the energy. So one of the things you're doing is really teaching people how they can manifest more money. And one of those steps, I guess, was actually seeing it. You said something too, Dr. Veronica, that was really key. You said, I read a lot of books. You said that so effortlessly, like you think people read a lot of books. I love books, but a lot of people don't read books. My daughter doesn't read books like me. Her boyfriend, he doesn't read books like me. I mean, I'll give them a book and it's like, oh, that's nice. There's different people. I mean, I have a book. Oh, it's my book here, but this book here, this book here. I've got all kind of books, and people, and I love that book by Nedra Glover. But people don't read books. So you said it so like, oh, everybody reads books. What was the, I guess you say, the desire for you to want to learn, to read the books, to get the mentors? Because you're saying like, oh, this is how they do it, but you have to be self-motivated. So where did that self-motivation or that inspiration come from?
Yes. Well, after I tested it in my own household and it worked, I actually tested it on a group of women.
Ah, okay.
And what I did, they just entrusted me because I asked them to get me just 1 jar. They had 1 jar. And every time they saw me, they had to give me $1. Now, mind you, these women were in poverty and they couldn't spare. It was hard to spare $1, but they didn't know what I was going to do with it. So after months had passed by, I ended up giving them the jar back. And then they were crying. They were so happy because they never had that much money before. And some had like $800, some had $1,000, some had $3,000, because I would see some more than the other. So when they did that, then I told them, I gave them another step. We're going to find something to invest so you can double your money. And then the next thing I know, later on, some had started owning businesses, and then they owned daycare centers. And it was so amazing, but they were so grateful and happy because they did not have much. Everybody can't just jump up and spend $1,000. It's a little steep. So I thought about the ones that did not have, and it worked. And then that's when I said, oh man, this can help a lot of people and I can guide them through. And then some of them said, well, I always got to give money. I have to lend money and give money to this person and that person. I said, well, tell them you're on a 90-day plan, and you cannot give out any money at the time. Unless it's like your mother's sick or something. Of course, you're going to help things like that, but let them know that you're going to have to say no at this time, and they get it.
That is it. That is one of the keys, setting those boundaries.
Yeah.
Setting the boundaries. One of the things that was this around the time when you started the Wealth Palace magazine?
Yes.
Okay.
It was some years, a couple of years after I had started the Wealth Palace magazine, and then now I have to build because the platform they went out of business, and then we had to wait until they get that together. So
you have that one now. So one of the things is about purpose. So you talked about helping people find their purpose, and then when they find their purpose, they find their assignment, and then they build wealth. So how do you go about helping someone that's like, well, I don't really know my purpose? Because a lot of people don't. I mean, I was pretty clear. I was fortunate at a young age to really know my purpose or my passion, and I followed it all through school. Not that I didn't veer off. I mean, at one point in time, I think I thought I wanted to be a lawyer. That was like the one time, but I quickly knew after I started working at a law firm that I did not want to be a lawyer because I felt those law books were boring. I do like books, but I didn't like the law books. So when I was in high school, I worked for the largest law firm in Michigan, and my job was to shelve the books that the lawyers would read. After they would read them and study and pull it out. This is so long ago. They probably don't do it that way anymore. But anyway, I was working in the law library, and I was like looking at stacks of books, like hundreds of books. I was like, oh no, we're gonna find something else to do because we do not want to be we don't want to be reading all these books. I was like, this is crazy. I was like, no. And they were there all day. I was like, that looks boring. That doesn't look fun. I'm sure it was probably for them because they knew what they were doing. But for me, I was like, I need to do something more creative. That's what I felt like, something more creative. But I do.
I felt the same thing. I was bored. It was too gray of an area for me. I thought I was going to go to law school as well. It was too gray area for me.
I mean, we do need legal. Everything we do is legal. We got a birth certificate to show that we were born, and a death certificate to show that we did. So everything in between, everything is legal. Everything has got.
I know that's right. That's good right there. That's good. I like that.
I don't want to be the one doing all that kind of stuff. So let's talk about how you develop the purpose or help people discover their purpose, because that's a tough thing. I'm telling you, it's a tough thing.
You know what? It's actually not too tough. I thought it was tough, going to be tough, but it's so natural. It's your natural God-given gift because God already created you to will and do anyway. You're created. Just like, your Father who created you in heaven, you're already been created, and you create just like, he did. So when you do something that is so exciting and so fun to do, sometimes you think it may be a hobby, but that hobby could be your best place where the money will flow. And when I found that, there's this one example. Let me give you an example. There was this teacher. And this teacher was having so much trouble with the students learning with the homework because they were speaking Spanish at home, but at school, they're speaking English. So he said, I wish I could just help them because the parents couldn't afford to pay to take English classes. It was too expensive. So this is what I told him. And if you're a teacher out there, you might want to just jump on this real quick, because this person is making, I believe, over millions now. But what I did, I said, well, you gather up the parents. On the weekend, you teach them English. Only do it for 1 hour. Take it slow, take it one step at a time. I said you could get about 5 of them and then charge them maybe about $20 or $50, whatever you want to talk. That's reasonable that they can pay.
Right.
So he did that for 1 hour, had like 5, he started with 5 students. And then it went on and got bigger. So each one is paying, he's got a group of 5 and they're all paying him, say, $20, $25 or $50. They're all paying him. So that multiplied. So I said, well, just add on another hour on Saturday. So he was doing it 8 hours. That they come like 9 to 10, or then 11 to 12,
Right,
and then
right.
you see it start building up, and then he was so excited because the kids start making better grades, and then the parents were happy because they were able to help their kids do the homework speaking in English.
Oh,
So
that is
just that simple thing, and he's so excited because he loves teaching the kids, and then he didn't even know that was one of his natural skills and abilities.
hmm It's like really taking. I remember reading this book a long time ago, called "You Can Make a Living." You can make you can make a living without a job or something like that. I can't, but basically it was like if you enjoy gardening, if you love planting. So I hate doing anything outdoors or anything like really domestic, I guess you would say. So there's some people that like it. I mean, really, really like it. They love planting flowers and doing all that, and they make a lot of money. I was like, I'll pay you whatever you want because I do not like it. But that's their gift. That's how they enjoy it. They love being in the earth. Or someone's writer. Someone, I know someone who writes bios, someone who knows how to edit. That's what they do in their sleep. They love doing that so they can make money from that. And so, I want people to understand that it doesn't have to necessarily be something that you went to school for. Like, I went to school to be a lawyer and I have to only do law, but it may be something else that helps you create wealth. It could be something you're passionate about. So, helping someone understand their purpose is like what lights you up, what gives you joy, what seems so easy as breathing. That's where you know your purpose is. Something that you know that if you are in a room and you're in a room with a lot of people and you're talking to, say, 4 or 5 people of different groups, and every time you go to that group, you end up talking about the same thing. Like I literally will, if someone hands me a business card, I will say, "Oh, I love your logo, blah, 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 this and that. What colors? Why'd you pick this?" It's kind of like no matter what, I'm going to end up talking about marketing, PR, and branding. And it's like if you shut me in the room, that's where I know it says that's how you know it's your passion. So Christina asked, and she wants to know what if you have more than one passion. That's where it makes it hard for me, and that's what they call those people that are multi-passionate. But I would bet, Christina, that they're all probably related in some kind of way. It may look like, I mean, you could be saying, I'm just saying something that's totally unrelated, that I love uh, teaching people self defense, but I also love cooking and catering. Okay, that's not really related. You see what I'm saying? So probably your
Mhm.
passions are related. You just, if you write them down. I remember one time writing down all the things I enjoyed, all the things. I mean, even from fashion to clothes to whatever, it's like, everybody look up. Most ladies like fashion. It's like, well, why do I have that passion for fashion? Well, part of it has to do with image, it has to do with branding. So if you write it all down and you look at it,
Exactly.
like you'll see that synergy.
Gonna say that. Yeah. Yes.
You'll see the synergy.
Exactly. When you write it down. But one thing about it, you can have 6 different passions. There's always one that is greater. They're not
Mm,
all the same. And you're
yes.
going to find that out when you write them down. And then, but when you have all those different type of passions, just remember that the one that you find that is the most for you, you're going to build a whole lot of wealth. You're the one with the billionaire uh, level because you
Mm,
have so many different passions. You
yes.
can look at one passion. You can look at one passion as 1 million, the second one as another million, and so on. But when you do it like that, when just like Dr. Pam's said, when you write it down, you're gonna see exactly which one it is
hmm
because you're
hmm
doing more than the other.
Right. Because you could look at it and focus on it. It's like, well, why am I focusing on this? A lot of it is what I call, you're manifesting. So when I
Yes.
write down things and in my journal and I have vision boards, I'm a big vision board person. I have one over there right now. And I look at it, and there's one big sign that says "Be your own boss." I have Associated Press, Yahoo Market on there. This is speakers, and those are the kind of things. Those are what I see for my clients. I want them to be in Business Insider. I want them to be in Yahoo. I want them to, And so when you go to my website, they can be in media. That's what I see for my speakers. So having the vision for that is part of it. So if you were to do a vision board, Christina, look at a vision board and look at all the things that you pull out just naturally. And you'll say, well, what is the symmetry in this? Why did I put that up there? And you'll kind of see a little bit about it and how you can pull it together. That's what makes it so fun about our lives. No one is alike. So you may like something,
Yes.
you may like PR, marketing, and branding, but then also you like something else, yoga. Okay, I'm just saying, like, so for real, I have a friend, a best friend, who is a publicist and has been a publicist for as long as I have, working with Jill Scott and all the different type of entertainers. But she really got into really self-care, self-help, and doing yoga. Now she's like a very well, known yoga instructor in the New York City area. And her PR background has helped her get on television a lot to talk about her yoga. So now she's going and speaking about corporate wellness and all of that. So part of it is like you can have these other passions, but maybe you're going to use that previous passion for the new passion. So that one really grows. So now the outgrowth of her yoga is growing. So there's a lot of yoga instructors, but not a lot of yoga instructors know PR like she does. So she can get in the newspaper. She can get in New York Times. She's always the go-to person for the media because she knows the media. And at a certain point in time, I had a client the other day, Dr. Veronica. She said, I used to love talking to youth. I love talking to youth. She says, and just one day I felt like I hit the pinnacle. I was talking to a group and I was bored. I was like, she said, I'm done with it. It's like, I'm bored. I want to switch and pivot. And it's okay because you can ride a press to a certain point and maybe hit a pinnacle of it and it's boring to you and you don't have the passion anymore to do it. And then that's when you pivot and then you go to your next passion or you discover it from writing the list. Yes, that's it. You start writing the list.
Yes.
You have a MFA, Christina. It's a Master of Fine Arts, right? That's an MFA. So all the arts, right? So it could be the arts from writing, it could be creating, it could be sculpting, it could be painting. So you could go from one to another, but when it's time to leave it or even meld them together. And so it's a thing where if you have what I call multi-passionate, you want to be multi-passionate, that's fine, but make sure that it leads to wealth in a way that makes sense for you. So that you're not leaving anything behind, but that
that's so true.
Yeah.
Yes, because there was this young lady. She said, I have 30 different businesses, and I'm managing them all. That's what I said too. And I said, well, I know something has to lack in each one of them because you can't be one person.
You can't manage all
30 different of them. And she was listening, telling me all these things. And then when I pointed out certain things, then she understood what I was saying because one will lack.
Right. She says she has an organizational communication and PR. Exactly. So in organizational communication, that is very broad. And you can do a lot of things with that. You really can. I was thinking about
the expert on that one with the communication and PR because you're totally awesome. You're brilliant.
Thank you. Well, one of the things someone told me about an interview that you just went on was the Law of Attraction Radio, and she said that you were amazing. So tell us a little about LOA. You were on Law of Attraction Radio.
Yeah, we just connected so quickly, and Constance, I'm sorry.
Christina.
She said there's a joke about the Queen Constance. She had me laughing too, but we connected so well. Everything just flowed like perfectly. And then at the same time, she was encouraging me at the same time. And then she said I was encouraging her as well. But it was just beautiful because we went to talking from 90 days to start gaining wealth, then to wealthy life skills, because I talked about the goal, the plan, and the strategy, because that was one of the key things. You got to have that goal and you got to have that plan and that strategy. You'll come out and win. that's why the focus is great. But I tell you, I don't know. It's like I've known her all my life. It was
And
just amazing.
she's been doing that radio show probably 10 years or more, I'm sure.
Yeah, 15 years. I was like, wow, what are these people? And Dr. Pam, thank you so much. I truly appreciate it. And I am so honored. I really do. I
knew she would love you. I mean, I know that
love
was
her. Like, man,
I mean, that was the thing. You're igniting
I didn't want to let her go. I didn't want to let her go.
Igniting purpose and building wealth. So I want people to know in the few minutes that we have left how they can connect with you. VeronicaBrooks.com. That's obviously because it's your name. That is very good. And when they go there, what will they find?
They can find a place where to contact me at. And if they want to send me a short message, they could send a message there to me and I'll just contact you right back. And it's just one place you need to go. VeronicaBrooks.com. That's it.
All right. Very good. Very good. So Christina, thank you for joining us. Do that. Please connect with her. She's a master of helping people pull out those passions and connect with their purpose to really build wealth. So make sure that you connect with Veronica Brooks. Her book is on Amazon as well. She has a memoir. It's called The Warrior Within. You can read that and really get inspired from that. So thank you so much for joining us today. I really, really enjoyed speaking with you. And I just wish you a lot of success because I just see it all in you. So thank you so much for joining the magazine show. And make sure that everybody gets the magazine this month. So you can get the magazine. It's online as well as the physical copy, but get September's issue. And you will find that you are on page, I want to say, what are we on page? We're on page 7. That's a good number. Page 7. So make sure you read about it and connect with her there as well. All righty. Well, thank you so much for joining the Speakers Magazine show, Veronica. VeronicaBrooks.com. All righty. God bless.
Thank you.
You've been listening to the Get Out There and Get Known podcast, brought to you by PamPerryPR.com, where you'll get insider tips on how to build your platform, pitch the media, and promote yourself with confidence. Head over to PamPerryPR.com and get the exclusive video training on the 7 must-have marketing materials you need before you pitch in order to be considered in media places or superstar stages. PamPerryPR.com.